everyone, Cheeky with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Series 86 Galvatron, and oh boy howdy, you're in for a treat.
Who disrupts my coronation?
Coronation, Starscream? This is bad comedy.
Megatron? Is that you?
Here's a hint.
Will anyone else attempt to fill his shoes? What did he say his name was? Galvatron. I hope you guys enjoyed my little intro stop motion, as it was quite frustrating to do, but also quite fun figuring out how to get certain things to work and lessons learned for future things, like use sticky tack to hold figures that don't want to stand up or something like that. Little Galvatron kept falling off. Anyway, articulation head can go down and up with a little bit of wibbly wobbly. Head can do a full 360. Arms can go all the way up and down. Bicep bend, wrist rotation, bicep rotation. Legs go back that far. Knee bend, thigh rotation. Can do the full splits and ankle pivot. And legs can go forward that far. And he is a bit limited on his waist rotation. Alright, let's take a closer look at this guy. Move the sand over to the side. Anyway, that noggin is absolutely stunning. I love that color, the paint. I will say the only gripe, the only complaint I'd have about the painting is that instead of having the goatee being painted a darker gray, it is the same color as the rest of his face, which does look a bit odd, but no, I mean, it's not too bad, and I could probably touch that up if I want to. And then I do like the Decepticon emblem. I will admit it doesn't pop as much as I would like, but it still looks pretty nice. And I will say the big selling point for this guy as to why I decided to upgrade from this guy was the fusion cannon, or his arm cannon, is that this one I do believe was Legacy. I think I think I've had every single version that, well, with the exception of the one where it's like, you know, he's being reformatted from Megatron into Galvatron. Other than that one, I think I've had every single one. So I had the Kingdom, and then I had the Toy Deco one, which is really cool. Kind of wish I held on to that one, but I have an original one, so now I have the Toy Deco essentially. And then like I said, I do believe this is Legacy. The colors weren't quite right. The purple's a bit off. I think the colors are a bit different, and but I was like, when they first released this guy, I was like, you know what? I will just hold on to this guy because I've had so many Galvatrons. It's like, do I really need another one? And I was like, eventually, when they finally kind of went on clearance, or on sale on Amazon, I was like, you know what? I'll finally go ahead and pull the trigger, pun intended, on getting this guy. Also, big complaint that I have is that, and maybe it isn't loose on the forearm. I will say, the instructions say have on the forearm, and I think that's kind of where it's supposed to go. So, you know, when he moves his arm, the gun moves with him. But I feel like it just hangs down a little too much. But I think it works, and I'll probably keep it on this way for him. But this guy, for whatever okay, never mind. Okay. Well, I guess that complaint is null and void at this point. But my complaint with this guy is that his gun would not, it was like loose, it wouldn't stay in place. It would, whenever I would lift up the arm like so, it would droop down. But that's because, like I said, I kind of like to have it right here. And when I would have it rotated up, okay, come on, why is it like this? I don't know why, but sometimes, well, it's doing a little bit, but sometimes when I want to show something off, that's a problem. It doesn't want to do it, but yeah, okay. But anyway, the point is that I was like, there's enough issues with this one that that is more than worth it to get the new version. Now the question is, will I keep this Galvatron? Maybe I'll have him on my work desk or something, and then have him on in my display. But I love this mold. This mold is an awesome mold, and that it explains why they've done so much with it or used it so many times, because it is that good. I will say I also like the gray treads versus the black ones, at least for the Toon deco. So I do like, man, they're both really good, but if you're wanting Toon / movie accuracy, definitely the Studio Series 86 one. And I think it's really funny is it is very similar to the Coronation, the backdrop that came with him, because it was one of the last ones, I guess, or he was released long enough ago, where it has the backdrops. The backdrop for this one has Astro Train, Thrust, and Ramjet on there, but the one for Coronation Starscream does not have them. Maybe it's because in the clip they scatter, they run off once Starscream gets hit by Galvatron's cannon blast. So maybe that's what that one is supposed to be. But yes, Astro Train is big and beefy in this, and maybe a little too much so, but definitely makes Astro Train look even worse, the toy that they ultimately released. Now going back to this Galvatron, now this is more of a issue with my specific copy. I don't believe this is gray plastic that's been painted orange. I really hope not, because I am very tempted to try to file whatever this is off or use light fine sandpaper, something, because it is really annoying. Granted, since it's not the whole thing, I can just have it positioned to where it's not really going to be visible, but just knowing it's there does bug me. One thing that I did notice when working on my short for this, or my stop motion, is that this part isn't really there on the Canon mode in Canon mode. So I decided to leave it off for that, for the purposes of that. While not a perfect dead ringer for the cartoon model of Galvatron, I will say that this Canon mode is pretty awesome. I mean, like I said, this is a really great mold. I will say it is a little annoying that you have to kind of angle these in. You can't exactly pivot it down because of the way that it angles, but I will say, even so, with them angled in ever so slightly, it's not too noticeable, and it doesn't look that bad. If anything, it looks like he's kind of bracing himself so he doesn't move all over the place. And this just looks absolutely amazing. I just wish they came with a blast effects part that was appropriate. I was having trouble finding a purple one that seemed big enough and grand enough for him, but unfortunately I was only able to find a blue one. A blue bloosh. Anyway, and then of course, for comparison, here we have the other Galvatron. I decided to put him in the standard mode just to show the difference between the official canon mode and the fan version. Now, as far as like the gun mode, I think they deliberately designed him where you can't exactly get him there, because on the original toy you would essentially flip this down, but since the way they do it for the ankles and the way the feet are, that's not really feasible. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I have the original one, so if I want to hold a Galvatron in a weird laser gun mode, I can do it with the original. Anyway, he does come with a couple more accessories. I know I should have done this while he was still in robot mode, but hey, there's other reviews you can watch and all that with this. But he does come with the Matrix of Leadership on a chain. Granted, the chain is just molded plastic. It's on an actual chain, although that would be cool if they did, but that'd be more like a masterpiece thing. It's definitely when he was shooting up at Unicron before Unicron ate him, and he transformed into cam mode and was shooting up at Unicron. But yes, Matrix can go around him, but unfortunately, just like with all of them, you have to put it on before putting the barrel of the cannon on. As far as the transformation, I will admit, for the stop motion, you don't really see the full transformation, especially the upper body. But it's I do have an older review if you are at all interested in that. But I'm trying to get away from doing the full transformations. Well, okay. If I don't have a little scene that they transform in, I mean, I'll probably do a full transformation on screen like I have been doing. But for this one, I just felt like it would be a little redundant since I already have a couple reviews on this guy. But anyway, yes, absolutely love this update. Was it unnecessary? Not, well, for tune accuracy, no, it was not unnecessary. But was it unnecessary that it took them this long to actually make a screen accurate one? Yes, that was completely unnecessary because, like I said, I've owned like pretty much every single version of this mold. So yeah, I forgot about another accessory that he has, or accessories. He does come with 2 guns, which, if you know anything about it, it is essentially the Revenge. The Revenge made into a handgun. It is a very silly thing, but I did have it displayed next to my Unicron, my Cell Unicron, because, you know, well, he's the one that gave the ship to Galvatron. And if you so desire, which I really don't, because this is something that they did for Legacy or Kingdom or whatever it was. But yeah, you just kind of wedge it into here, I guess, like that. And like that. Come on. And that, to me, just looks atrocious. I mean, it blocks off most of the cool parts of the camera. I mean, it adds extra guns, but it just looks so tacky, in my opinion. But, hey, that is something you can do if you so desire it. So that's about it for Galvatron. If you already have another version of this one that you're completely happy with, by all means stick with that one. But if you don't have Galvatron or want to upgrade, I highly recommend this coloration. Anyway, if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.